Let's talk about using microphones. Microphones are an interesting source because the controls on the panel behave just a little bit differently when they're used in relation to the monitor speakers. As we've already discussed, you can use the monitor speakers to listen to what you have put through the panel. So, for example, you can see that I've got a CD playing. You can see that I've got the fader for CD1 on and up. You can see it metering on the bridge there. And if I put my monitor fader up, you can hear it on the monitor speakers. Focusing our attention back on the microphones again. The studio has got 4 of them. There is what's called on the panel the announcer microphone, although I suppose it should really be called the panelist's microphone because it's in front of whoever is operating the panel. And then there are 3 guest or presenter microphones arranged from left to right. From the perspective of the panel operator, which is you, guest microphone 1 is on the left, guest mic 2 is in the center, and guest mic 3 is on your right. And looking at the panel itself, you can see the last 4 channel faders have their on switches labelled with the microphones. Mic 1 on the left, mic 2 in the middle, mic 3 on the right, and the announcer microphone, which is for this one right here in front of me, that's at the very end of the channel faders. So, if I switch that microphone on and put the fader up, check, 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 hey, 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 and you can see my voice metering on the panel. Microphones are quite sensitive, so you don't need to crank the fader up that high usually. Now, there's a couple of other things that happen when you switch on a microphone. I'll just turn it off again so you can see them happen. There's this little light that's dangling down from the ceiling of the studio. And whenever I turn on one or several or all of the microphones, this little light comes on as well. The fader does not have to be up, it can be completely down, but when a mic channel is on, that little light will be on too. That's so your presenters and guests know when a microphone has gone to air. And if you walk outside the studio for a moment, you will see also that the on-air light is on above the front door of the studio. That's so that people outside the studio know not to burst into the studio when there's a mic on and interrupt the broadcast. But there's something else that happens when a microphone is on, and I'll demonstrate that by turning it off again. So as you can see, the light goes out too. I'll put the music back on. You can see the music metering and you can hear it, of course. I'll keep the CD playing, but I will turn the microphone on. And you will notice instantly that not only has that light gone on, but also the sound coming out of the monitor speakers has cut out. The CD is actually still playing, as you can see, but you can't hear anything from the monitor speakers now because the microphone is switched on. Whenever a microphone is switched on, the monitor speakers will always cut out so that you don't get any feedback from the microphone going into the speakers. That's a dangerous thing that you don't want to happen. So the one thing to remember with microphones is that when they're switched on, you can't hear anything from the monitor speakers and you don't necessarily know what you're putting through the panel anymore. That CD is still playing, but we can't hear it through the speakers unless we turn that microphone off, as I've just done. So you might ask, well, what good are the monitor speakers if we've got the microphones on for a radio show half the time and we can't use the speakers because whenever a microphone is turned on, the speakers cut out? Well, that's where headphones come in, which you can learn about in the next video.